Hi, so I'm back. I've not made a video for a while, so I thought it'd be time to get one done. And I thought since I've had my Lantac straight pull AR-15 now for best part of 18 months and probably put about 1,000 rounds through it, I thought it would be worth doing a little bit more of a sort of a review of my thoughts on it, since I've had a bit more experience with it. So we'll talk about some of the points I like, some of the points I don't like so much, but we'll just run sort of through the rifle. So some of my shooting has been on ranges, that's probably where I put the most rounds through it, and then the other shooting has been when I've been out hunting, foxing with it. So I'll probably start at the muzzle end. No problem with the actual muzzle itself, although I did get that flash hider, sort of the A2 flash hider, so I could get the quick detach moderator, which I haven't yet got. It's probably a case of funds and a bit of a lack of initiative to actually do it. It is something I'd like to get, because I'd like to try different reloads, maybe try and go down sort of route subsonics, but we'll just see about that. So one of the main points is the barrel. The rifle itself is quite heavy, which when I've been carrying it around when I've been out hunting, I have noticed. It's got a bit of weight to it. It's probably going to be one reason why I'm going to go and get a sling for it, just because I can put it over my shoulder and my hands are free. So where we live is quite hilly, so getting up and down the hills with a rifle in your hand would probably be made a bit easier if you had your hands free and it was just sat on your back and you weren't carrying it the whole time. The barrel is 18 inches long, so it is a slightly longer option as opposed to the military variant, and the manufacturer does offer various barrel lengths, with the 18-inch being the longest, but I'm sure if you asked him you could probably go even longer. The barrel is quite a heavy barrel. It's also tapered, so just where it goes into the fore end there, where the rail system is, from muzzle towards the actual action of the gun, the barrel actually gets thicker, so you've got quite a bit of weight there to lug around, but that also aids in accuracy. Obviously initial accuracy, when you may be doing maybe a 5-round string of shots, we're definitely getting sub MOA at 100 yards with factory ammunition. That'll be better once I start reloading. But also if you decide to rack through 20, 30 rounds quite quickly when you're on the range, that barrel's going to soak up a lot of heat, whereas if it was a slimmer, more of a pencil barrel, maybe a barrel you would see on modern sporting rifles, you might only get a few rounds out of it before it starts to really heat up. So moving back down the gun, the rail system is another aspect I really like. That's obviously common to most ARs now. Most people seem to have the rails. For me, the beauty is it allows me to chop and change sort of what accessories I've got on. So at the moment I've got some flip-up sights and a red dot sight as well. Normally I've got a scope on there with quick detach mounts, but this setup you can see now is perfect for when I go down to the range, and just great for knocking over targets, bit of fun. Fairly accurate with it. You pretty much hit what you're aiming at, but you're aiming at figure 11 targets, so we're not being super accurate. I would quite like to see what the flip-up sights are capable of on paper, so I'm due at the range in the next couple of weeks, so it'll be good to have stick it 100 yards and see what we can do with those traditional iron sights. Just talking about taking my scope off, obviously there could be that concern of loss of zero. I've not really experienced anything yet. It seems to have held at zero every time I've taken it off, put it back on, so forth. It's not really caused any problems. You just got to obviously make sure you put it back in exactly the same spot on the same part of the rail system that you took it off originally. You can see just by the fore end there's a 20-round magazine there. Just a note, I actually prefer using that. I rarely, especially when I'm out hunting, I have no need to really carry a 30-round mag. It's something else to get snagged on things. It's a bit of extra weight. The 20 rounds are great because you can carry all the ammunition you're going to possibly ever need when you're out hunting in one magazine, and it's quite nice and compact and doesn't really add any extra sort of depth, if you like, to the firearm. So that makes it easy when you're carrying it around. Just behind the mag well, I've got the trigger. I've got the Giselle, I think that's how you pronounce it, match trigger, and that is single stage and it breaks very lightly. I can't remember exactly the weight on the brake, but it's very good. It definitely aids in accuracy. I had a go with a standard, I suppose, military spec one not so long ago, and it's chalk and cheese. So I'm really glad I spent the extra money and got that, and got the match grade trigger. Again, just behind the trigger, you've got the pistol grip. That's a Magpul MOE Plus, so it's kind of a rubberized finish, and the beaver tail goes up to the back of the action there, which just is nicely sized grip. It fills your hand. I've got big hands, fills your hand, but it's the rubberized finish just gives you something to hold on to. So as I mentioned, when I go out hunting with the rifle, it's quite compact. If you compare it to a standard sporting rifle, Remington or something like that. The brilliant thing is as well, you can collapse that buttstock as well, and that just makes the whole package really small. And I think as soon as I get a sling for it, that will really aid the actual, transporting the rifle physically when you're walking up and down the hills. I think, just as a sort of finishing note, the rifle is definitely run in now. As I say, it's had just under 1,000 rounds through it. All of those factory rounds, I haven't reloaded for it yet. I would quite like to do it, but just lacking the time at the moment to do that. But it seems to be running really well. I can't fault it at all. So that's my sort of more in-depth review of it after I've had it for a few months. If you've got any questions, fire away, and I'll do my best to answer them. Speak to you later, guys.